When my wife and myself were moving recently, we asked a few friends if they'd had any experiences with removalist companies, because you're always a little bit apprehensive in terms of, who's going to move your furniture and your valuables. And a good friend of ours had used AAA, and he said to me, look, give them a shot. We were very impressed with them, so that's what we did. I checked out their website. They looked like they were a very professional company, and we are so glad that we used them. They were just on time. The removalists were dressed neat and tidy. They said that they would basically look after everything, and we just had to sit back and watch it happen, and that's exactly what occurred. I was just so pleased that we chose AAA. Gave us, I guess, what you'd call, I don't know, maybe peace of mind. It gave us, but when you just saw how professional they were, you just knew they were going to look after your furniture. And in terms of my wife, of course, like most ladies, that she was pretty concerned about all of her kitchen utensils and things like that. And they just basically treated all of that stuff with kid gloves. I would highly recommend them to anyone. If you're considering moving, certainly at least make contact with AAA. And I think once you make contact with them, the professional demeanour which they have about their business, it'll probably convince you to go forward and use their services. I'm so glad that we used them, and I would recommend them to anyone.
We recently downsized. We sold our house and are downsizing into a smaller house because the kids are leaving home now. And we contacted AAA City Removalist. It's actually been quite a great experience. They were so professional. They looked after all our glassware, crockery. Everything was perfectly packed. They had it all organised so that when we moved it into the next place, they were in the exact rooms that we wanted them. Everything was just so professional from the beginning to the end. They were very courteous. They just made sure that nothing was broken, and actually it wasn't a bad experience. I was really worried beforehand that it was going to be a shocker of an experience, but it was quite easy, and we settled in really quickly into our new house, and everything was fine. Everything's great.
AAA were an absolute dream team. From the opening inquiry all the way through to their delivery service, they were top class. Everything about them was very professional. They delivered the best service from coming through when we were moving from our old house through to the new house. Everything was put in the right place, everything boxed up exactly the way that we wanted it, and taken great care of. Every product that we had that they moved for us came back in the same condition that they were when they picked it up when they got them from the old house. Yeah, my partner was very, very hesitant to go through with a removalist service because there are a lot of products of ours that are very fragile, and she was very worried about them, because obviously the stereotype with removalists is that they don't really care about your products. All they want to do is come through and take what they can and move it on. But with AAA, they took great care. They were very courteous in the way that they did everything, even to the point where they asked us where we would like to put things in the house, because that's very important, because when we then move into the house, we know exactly where everything is. That's very important for us. Crockery was very, very carefully wrapped. All of our very fragile products, so the lighting and the lamps and those sorts of things, were all taken great care of, and they all returned in the same condition that they were when they started. I can't recommend them highly enough. Absolute top class service.
Yeah, I mean, AAA City Removalists were great. We have a 1-year-old toddler, so we needed all the help we can get, and they just took over it all, took it all off our hands, and it was fantastic. Yeah, they gave us so much peace of mind. It was trusting them with all of our valuables, all of our couches and beds and beautiful antique tables. Total peace of mind. Amazing. Trust them with anything. Yes, they said they were going to be here on a certain time. They said they were going to have it finished by a certain time, and they stuck to every single one of their promises. I've moved countless times, and this is the most professional removalist company I've come across.